Well, it has definitely been a bit of a hot second. The last time that I streamed this game was November 2nd or 3rd, and it is currently December 15th, so it's been a hot second. Also, the thingamabob is the wrong name, and the game should come up here shortly. I guess I never actually tested before starting this. Also, the chat shadow is not right. Oh, it's showing a different shape. Okay, we are immediately off to technical issues. Oh, now it's popping up right. Yeah, we're time travel. Oh, I didn't even need to do anything. It just took a hot second. I never updated the thingamabob. I have not touched this game at all in the past month and a half, except for once very briefly. I don't remember when it was. Anyone can find out the date, because I remember I hopped on and it was Camilla's birthday, so we've skipped Camilla's birthday in this video. Thank God. But whatever day that was, just to check some things there. Yeah, average Fire Emblem stuff. I don't know why the chat shadow is being weird. Oh, because the chat box is a different width than the chat shadow box. Why? Why did the chat box shrink itself? Oh, I must have tinkered with it for some other layout that used the exact same source. Oh, so the shadow goes longer than the... Okay, hold on. So width 720 pixels, or 620. So change from 400 to 620. Okay, that should fix the chat shadow issue. We're off to a great start here. And that should say chapter 19 at this point. There's a few things I want to talk about before we get underway. The short version is, I'm going to show my spreadsheet this part, and we're going to go over the whole thing. I honestly kind of forgot that this was a thing. The scoreboard edit 1.4.exe that I used. And what files did I read from? I think it was just my regular Smash Ultimate things for tournaments, right? That I don't even use for tournaments a whole lot nowadays. So I think that was on my F drive. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Oh god. Scoreboard. SBE for scoreboard edit. Select read files. Yes, it is. So I can change that to 19. And then I can type in Kitsune layer. Bam! Look at that. And then, unless we want to be fancy about it. Maybe we should be a little bit fancy about it. Bam! Fancy! There we go. But we're not actually going to do that for a little while. I don't think here. So, essentially, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about real quick in terms of stuff going on around here and how it is kind of absolutely insane. So, do I have a display capture on this layout? Yeah, I have this one here. So, in terms of currently ongoing things, there's Fate's Conquest that's still going to take me a while. Super Mario RPG, I did actually beat the main game of. I might still do a little bit of additional stuff. This, I don't know how long it's going to take me, but it's probably a relatively short thing. I don't know what's going on with this anymore. This might be a decently long game, and I'm only like 5 hours in, and I haven't even touched that in over a month either here. It's kind of the case. So, I'm kind of behind on things. I just wrapped up my university semester yesterday. I've been pretty busy with university stuff. And then next semester is probably going to be the busiest university semester that I've ever had because I'm cramming in a whole bunch of things in my final semester before graduation. So, a couple of those, 2 of the classes that I'm going to be in are both involved with developing a video game throughout the semester. So it's like, oh yeah, that's gonna keep me pretty busy. So I figure, hey, I have time now. I technically had some time earlier in the month, but I was doing work stuff that I'm now off with as well. So it's like, during this brief time that I have, I gotta go hard. Because once next semester rolls around, I'm not really gonna have a whole lot of time. So I gotta go as ham as I can. And it's occurred to me that with how long it takes to grind, as I found out in my Birthright playthrough when I was at this phase where we beat Chapter 18, and I was grinding for all the child units to get all the supports up. Everyone up to level 15 promoted classes or whatever the heck, probably past that to get all the skills that they want so they would have the right thing to pass down to their kids. It's not exactly a meager time investment. So, I've decided I'm going to cheat. I always disclose in a playthrough whenever I'm cheating. I'm not like a Minecraft YouTuber that's like, oh, I did some mining off camera. No, I always disclose when I do stuff like that, and the reason why, and it's for time here. But I'm only going to do things that are legitimately obtainable, only going to get skills that are things that you can legitimately obtain. not even including the skill inheritance from other save files. Like, I'm sticking true to the restrictions that I set for myself in terms of what I can get, which is why I decided that first thing we were going to do this stream is go over my entire Conquest spreadsheet and showcase everything that I'm going for and how I'm going to get it. And then I'm going to use, where's the thingamabob here? There's this little handy tool, which is the thing that I use to get a whole bunch of resources since I can't get those online anymore. And I found out that I can also, get gold with it, which maybe I'll end up doing because the gold grind is pretty awful as well. You can go into supports. I said you could go into supports. Oh, is it open on another window? Oh, it opened up my other monitor for some reason. Yeah, so I can, whoops. Apparently I can scroll through that and change it. So it looks like I can set it to these thingamabobs, and then that works, and it has the next support queued up. And we don't really skip supports here. We want to see them through and see what's going on with these characters. So if I'm doing this to get all the character supports up, that means this is going to be a great many hours of reading simulator here shortly. So be prepared for that. But for now, I want to go over my full spreadsheet. And I figured I would just do that on stream rather than making a full crazy, fully edited video. Because last time I did that with Fire Emblem Engage that I just published, what, like a week and a half ago? He, gosh dang, I read Garen in the chat and then I said he, not I, I don't want to make another 7-hour spreadsheet going over everything in a fully edited video. So I just wanted to go casual and do this kind of format here. So I'm going to switch to this layout and go display capture 1. Actually, maybe I'll switch back to here briefly so I can turn off display capture so that when I switch back, it'll already have display capture off. So yeah, that's the plan today. That's what's going on here. So maybe I'll pause this, and I'm thinking that I'm going to play my DBD stream playlist, and let's get some chill tunes here. Let's put this on shuffle. That sounds good. So yeah, I have mentioned before that I've had this spreadsheet. I've shown little snippets of it, but I've never gone over the full thing. So let's go over my full Conquest stream playlist. But yeah, grinding is cringe, cheating is based. Jacob Alpha Rad 2022. He's got a point. Karen will be proud. Reading simulator for this game script. Yeah, so we might not actually be playing a whole lot of Fire Emblem this stream. We'll see. So let's go over things, I guess. Also, yes, that is a maximum stat modifier of 10 in skill on Kana. So, just generally for the format of my spreadsheet, I have the characters over here, who they're going to be S supporting with, who they're going to be A+ supporting with, the class set that's given by those supports, the class sets you can find down here and what skills they get. So, for example, Oni Savage can promote into Oni Chieftain / Blacksmith, and it gives access to these skills. I don't have a page with, like, the skills descriptions like I did in my, Engage spreadsheet, because I just had all the good ones memorized anyway. As the case, if I ever released a public version of this, I'd probably write down skill descriptions on some other sheet, make it more like my Engage one. So it makes it easy to see what kind of skills and classes become available with any class set. So all these sets that are written down are just the initial unpromoted class so that you know what thingamabobs it can promote into here. And then here's the, like, special DLC ones, which you cannot inherit with kiddos and stuff. That is not possible there, so that's how that is formatted there. A+ doesn't matter with Avatar, there is no A+ there. I just have my Boon and Bane, or whatever the heck it's called there, and how those affect. This is the default growth rates here, so I was affected by Boon and Bane, and then the resultant maximum stat modifiers, and then, you know, same thing Bob with Kana here, where it's like, here's the initial growth rates, and then affected by Boon and Bane, and then add the other parent, and then it averages out like that, and then add the maximum stat modifier, so this is what they'd be normally. Here's the mother's maximum stat modifier, so here's the result. So it's that kind of format where it's like, here's growth rates, here's maximum stat modifiers. And then for the kiddos, here's a little bit of math, where here's their growth rates with just the preset parent. Here's the growth rates of the other parent, average them out. Here's their growth rates just based off of the initial parent, which is just the parent's growth rates plus 1 to each thing. So 0 becomes 1, 0 becomes 1, 1 becomes 2, 3 becomes 4, so on and so forth. Growth rates of the other parent, add them up. The supports over here is just what kind of class sets you get from the various different supports. Like, for example, female Kana can go ahead and support with Midori to get Apothecary, or Mitama for Shrine Maiden, or Selkie for Divine, or Valoria for Fighter. She can only do these two in Conquest because those are the only ones available here, but otherwise would, in Revelations, be able to get all those thingamabobs there. You can have 5 skills in the game, so these are the ones I plan on putting into each character. This music is a little bit loud for me. This is a Vexento cover. Vexento forever, apparently. Pretty sure that you keep a Boon and Bane up until Branch of Fate, then you can change it without affecting your stats. Yeah, you can choose the Boon and Bane when you do the Branch of Fate, and then go with something different in that playthrough if you want. Tis your choice. Here's the class sets, so it's like, here's the primary class set, here's a secondary class set, which was chosen as that because of my talent. Also, I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Just a little smidge to there. Sure. And then they also have the class set of the other parent passed down for the children. So the adults always have 2 class sets, the children will always have 3, with the other one being chosen by their other parent. Let's see here. There's also going to be their pair-up stats, where this is based on their support levels and is intrinsic to them, / Boon and Bane in the case of the Dudos here, the avatar and stuff. Also, I realize that the text is kind of hard to read on this white background, but sucks to suck. And this is the pair-up stats of their class that they're in, essentially. So by being Nor Noble, you have the pair-up stats of 2 extra strength, 2 in magic, 1 skill, 1 speed, and 2 res that you grant to your support partner when you're paired up with them. Whereas what these essentially mean is when you're at C support with someone, then you also grant them additional defense. When you're at B support with someone, you grant them now 2 points in defense. When you're at A support with someone, you now grant them 2 points in defense and a point in speed. And when you're at S support with someone, you grant them those 3 and also +1 skill and +1 res. Is how that works, essentially. So that's what I have laid out. And with it figured out for the characters, the kid characters based on their parents. And it looks like I don't actually have everything written out for the classes because I never fully finished the spreadsheet. I guess I just planned out enough that I know what I'm doing and I don't need to know exactly everything there. And I kind of forgot about it before doing this little showcase here, but that doesn't matter. It only matters if I ever release it publicly, I guess. But yeah, you thought Pokemon was complicated? Yeah, I do a lot of math and Fire Emblem stuff. I first designed these spreadsheets when I was in high school when Fire Emblem Fates first came out. And I've remained with this format ever since. I've made different versions of it with different builds. Like this was only made, what, like a few months ago, something like that, to plan out what it was going to look like for my stream playthrough. But this actual format for this spreadsheet I put together when I was in high school. So, you know, everything that you see here, this has been like this for, what, 7, 8 years? Yeah, I guess like 8 years now. My goodness gracious. I think I even started putting it together shortly after it came out in Japan. Before the English names were even known. So, yeah, there's that. There's the Nor characters over here. The Shido, this only comes into play in Revelation / Birthright, so this is just over here chilling. Yeah, I want to make Xander Vanguard stuff. So, yeah, basically looks like this, essentially. Oh, and one last thing on the sheet. The skills here are the skills that I plan on passing down to the children units. That's what that means. I should clarify. So I've slapped lethality here just because, like, kind of doesn't really need anything else spicy. Let's just slap down, I don't know, something like lethality for the memes. So I guess let's go through everything in order here for the various kid units. I plan on pairing up with Soleil, which means that we actually need to start over with Laszlo. So Laszlo's planned support partner here is Baruka. His final class, I was just like, oh, sure, let's just slap him into Master Ninja. Just for someone else to be Master Ninja and play into my Awakening build that I had with him where he was like the skill-procking mad lad, so I kind of wanted to do that again. Going over the adult stuff isn't as important, it's more so the kid stuff. Also, I should also disclose that the, how I plan on going Cheaty Pete about this is Cheaty Peting all this stuff for the, not all this stuff, but all the stuff that I need to pass down the stuff that I want to the children units on the adult units. But once I have the children units, assuming I have the time, I am going to try to play completely legitimately from there. I'm not going to, you know, Cheaty Pete level myself up and become OP for the actual maps and stuff. And those that I actually plan on using in Generation 1, I won't Cheaty Pete to this. Like Xander and my unit and Azura, I'll just grind normally alongside the children. It's just everyone else that's going to get benched once I get the kiddos anyway. Let's just get them the stuff that they want to pass down and how they're going to get it and be on our merry way. I forgot to mention that earlier. I apologize. Whoops. But yeah, it was the mind of a generation for calculating all this stuff back then. So, but the first generation classes really don't matter as much. It's just what kind of niches did I want to fill. I more so wanted variety with the with the children units to have this mix at the end. And this was just recording for, like, who I was going to pair up with who. I guess I don't really need this anymore. So, generally, quickly here, the plan is Corrin is Nor Noble, along with Soleil as Great Lord. Kinda Nor Noble as well, because Nor Noble's pretty good. Sigbert to be my dedicated Lodestar. I want to have at least one of each of the DLC classes, typically, around. I don't think I have Ballistician in my active party, because that'll be for Niles. He can take over that, because sure. Shigure, he's gonna be his default class for, like, the first time I think I've ever used him in his default class, Falcon Knight there. Dwyer, I'm gonna make him into my Grandmaster. He's gonna be the mixed dudo there that can do pretty well at each. Did my music stop, or is it just really quiet? Okay, it's just really quiet. We're going to the next theme. If anyone's wondering what any of these themes playing at any point is, like, this is just a playlist on shuffle, but ask and I'll just post the link for it. You know. Well, like, I'll post the playlist link in the description of this video later, but if anyone wants a specific theme, let me know, and I'll post it in the chat there. Actually quite interesting with Kana, as you, if female avatar / Azure marries a unit with a child unit themselves, you can technically give each different skills by switching your skill order in the menu. Yeah, and that's something that I have planned out for some characters in some of these spreadsheets with Azura. I don't know if I do in this one, I'll have to double check. And hello, Logan Sir Samurai, it has been a hot second. How are things going today? Sophie's gonna be my Dread Fighter in a interesting build that I'll share here shortly. Florence is gonna be my Dark Falcon. Ophelia is the Witch because, of course, Nina is her default class of Adventure. Percy's gonna be my Spicy Malignite, what with Arthur and Elise combo there, turning Percy into a bit more magical than they normally be. Ignatius is the default thing of General. Valoria is her default thing of Wolfsigner, however that's pronounced. Let's make Xander my Vanguard because heck yeah. And then Azura with the Songstress there for my final main party here because you can have 16 units and Corrin and stuff. So, yeah, back to this here. This is a Snivy's remix. Snivy's is super chill and also owes me a rematch in Mario Party. So, let's see here. Laszlo's support partner is planned to be Baruka. That is going to give him and his kiddo access to Wyvern Rider as a class, which means you have access to things like Trample that you don't even use because you have other skills available here. And as for A+ support partner, he has the options of Xander, Odin, or Keaton for Cavalier, Dark Mage, or Fighter. I decided to go with Xander Cavalier, which gives us access to Luna, which we can then pass down to Soleil that she can have in her setup. Which, what with being paired up with my unit and having access to Nor here, which is a skill that gives you access to your party members or your support partners, like skill % chance to activate skills as well, or just your percentage chance to activate skills in general. Like, I think it counts for things like Miracle too, and that's luck based. Then we have access to Luna in the mix there. So yeah, definitely the A+ with Xander there is pretty handy. Soleil here is planned to be the Great Lord, and she gets access to Samurai because of my talent by pairing up there, which means that she can slap on Astra and use that skill slot that way. She already has access to Soul because of Mercenary. She already has access to Replicate because she has Ninja right there, and then we'll get access to Aether through Great Lord by being in that class. So there's no A+ listed here because it's not necessary. We already have something really good there, so it's not even needed at that point. Baruka over here, I figured let's just pass down another skill % chance to activate skill with Vengeance, even though I don't really plan on using it, and just something exclusive that Soleil wouldn't have access to otherwise. So, we don't need to pass down anything from Wyvern Rider because she already passes that down, doesn't need it. Fighter, there's always Soul that can be passed down, but she already has access to Soul because she has access to Mercenary, so that doesn't really matter there. So it'd only really be a Berserker kind of thing that would be exclusive to her, and we don't really need to pass down a Berserker thing. We could pass down Gamble. Gamble could be pretty nice, but I was just like, to be like my support partner, let's just stack up a bazillion skill % chance to activate skills. So here's Vengeance, even if we don't use it. This is to pass down to the thingamabob here. No, I guess she does actually use it here, herself. So yes, technically Pavai's Elise for funsies there, because I don't know what else to put on. Plus, when your defense is that sucky, why not? I figure. Baruka comes with these maximum stat modifiers, the spicy one there being skill. So Soleil's maximum stat modifiers are already going to be 3, plus the 2 from Baruka, and that's going to bring it up to 5, which is pretty nice. So 1 in strength and magic, 5 in skill, a little bit slower speed. Great Lord might not mind too much. The luck doesn't matter too much, a little bit better defense and a little bit worse res, which actually kind of balances out Great Lord a little bit, if I recall. Yeah, because 29 and 31 for maximum stats there. So that kind of helps balance things out a smidge. Also, is my... Oh, no, that was just the outro there. Might turn up the music just a tiny smidge here. What? No, I muted it completely. Here, something like that. And then plan is to pair up with my unit. My unit can get access to almost any skill in the game because of how the friendship seal works on them. So I figure let's go with Nor to have access to all of our partners' skill-based skills. Have the one that's exclusive to Corrin on here. Okay, maybe I turned it up a smidge too loud, just barely. There, this is good. I don't know. Replicate, so we can have 2 of us, especially considering Soleil has access to replicate as well, so there can be 2 of us. Draconic Hex, because that is kind of busted. Battle us and get marked for death, and Vantage just for the extra safety here. And then how that's going to play into Kana. Kana is now going to have these maximum stat modifiers to be a bit more physical based than magical, still a positive maximum stat modifier magical. Soleil does bring the growth rate for magic way down, so it is going to be a little bit more annoying getting the magic stat up higher, which is a little bit sucky, but it's going to be worth it for this at the end of the day to have friggin' 10 maximum stat modifier in skill. Let's just have an extra 10% chance to activate any one of these, well, not any one of these skills. Not everyone is skill percent. Some of them are like half of skill percent, but you know what I mean. Still a whole lot of extra percent. Like a weird not rightful king here, essentially, slash Hoshido in this case. A whole bunch more defense and no negative in resistance there. We do have a -1 in speed. I don't think that Nor Noble cares that much. Yeah, I don't think it cares all that much, though, so that's fine. And yeah, so the plan is for Kana to just become my most busted unit here, and we'll see how that goes. This is gonna be the most annoying part, is just dealing with a really sucky growth rate in magic. So he might be a bit more physical based of a Nor Noble than my unit is, at least initially. At the end of the day, will be a better one than my unit, but yeah, there's that. And then exact same setup with Kana there, where it's like Nor to have access to our partner's skills, Dragon Fang to have that exclusive thing. Let's let there be 2 of us, let's mark our foes for death, and let's have access to Vantage. So these are the class sets available here. The plan is to A+ with Midori, because let's see here. Yeah, her options were basically Midori or Veloria, so Apothecary or Fighter, and I decided that Apothecary was a much more useful one to get access to Replicate here. Oh yeah, was Soleil planning on passing down something that just she wouldn't normally have access to? Yeah, just Luna, in case she wants to slap that on, even though it's not currently planned to be used. It can be used earlier in the playthrough before I get access to all these things, so I'll probably use Luna for a little bit, but yeah, that's the plan there. And then S-ing with Percy, which is going to be my Malignite, for having these 2 mixed physical and magical units together, that by pairing up will boost one another's physical and magical. I tried to, as best I could, pair up the magical units with the magical units and the physical units with the physical units because of the pair-up bonuses that they get, boosting the things that they'll actually use. Plus, Malignite here is going to be a flyer, and further reinforce, I guess, kinda as my most busted unit in this playthrough by being able to fly around wherever she wants to go, have the extra movement from being paired up with him, and being able to switch over to him and fly where she wants to get. So Percy was the one unit that I lost, that I could not figure out how to save in my Lunatic Classic playthrough of Fates before I was a content creator. Now that he's paired up with Kana as a Malignite, I don't think Percy's gonna be in much danger. He's gonna be a lot more safe than before. But yeah, let's see here. So Anna uses spell to engage. Wait, about which part now? Gosh dang, I read it a little bit late. So anyway, let's just keep on moving down here. Azura, here's Amaterasu, I believe the skill name is, from Kinshi Knight, I think it is, to just further play into a personal, which unlike my engaged spreadsheet, I guess I don't have the personals laid out here. To heal people around even more. Here's some more stuff with dancing. Here's Foreign Princess, that's pretty good, and then you can inherit warp. Is the case. Oh, with magic there. Yeah, where you want to play into that. Yeah. Yeah, Anna was so weird in Engage, having the highest magic growth rate in the game and not really being all that good at using it, what with your innates. So weird. Oh, why do I have allergies? Azura's literal only option to A+ support is Elise. So that's who she's A+ing. She doesn't have any other options in Conquest. And Shigure, his magic kinda sucks. But I was like, you know, I'm gonna make him into mixed physical magical this time. And I was originally planning on making him my Falcon Knight, but I later decided to make Forest my Falcon Knight, or my Dark Falcon, the one with tomes and lances, is what I was originally planning here, but later decided to turn Forest into that, so I was like, oh, how about Shigure just becomes my Falcon Knight, and then is a more supportive, kind of go around healing, supporting allies kind of character, which I wanted to play into here with the fact that he can inherit Foreign Princess from his mom, he can get inspiration from Troubadour, that is his secondary class there since he doesn't get Songstress, and as a flyer, he'll have access to Bowbreaker, which I believe also comes from Troubadour. It might actually come from Dark Mage that he inherits from his father there. So just overall here's someone that can go around healing our allies, make them be in a bit of a better position by being near them, because Foreign Princess, I believe it reduces your damage taken by 2 and boosts your damage dealt by 2 when facing units of the opposing army, or of the opposing factions to allies within 2 spaces it grants that. And then Inspiration, I think, is the same kind of deal, where it's like, I might actually need to double check here. Serena's Forest, because I don't have the descriptions written out, but I can double check how it works there. So let's see here. So no, not personal skills. Obtainable skills. If I look for Inspiration here, if I actually knew how to type, allies within a 2-tile radius deal 2 extra damage and receive 2 less damage during battles. That's pretty nice. And then there's the Foreign Princess, which I don't know if it's on this page, if it's on this one. Whoa, yeah, well, I apparently cannot type. Foreign army enemies within a 2-tile radius deal 2 less damage and receive 2 extra damage. Okay, that's what it is. So with Inspiration and Foreign Princess, I was like, hey, let's just stack those things on and then be a harder to hit Bow Knight. So with Leo as the father, you are the father! Dark Mage is inherited. And we get that. We get better magical stuff. We'll S-support with Sophie here, which will give us access to Luna. And our A+ really does not matter what we do. We can do Hizame for a Samurai here, but we already get this from Dear Old Dad, and there's nothing really that we need to pass down otherwise. There's nothing exclusive, because he already has access to Dark Mage, he already has access to Troubadour, and he already has access to Sky Knight. And Samurai is just straight up the best option for Leo to A+ with here. I mean, if I did this, though, I would get access to Luna here and then pass down Luna. But if we're S-supporting with Sophie, then there's no point, because we already have access to Luna that way. So that doesn't matter there. And there's not really anything that's worth getting and passing down on Niles. And then giving up the chance for Leo to get Astra is just kind of a waste, you know? But yeah, hello Mythic. Things are going pretty alrighty. We've decided that we're going to cheaty Pete Conquest, because I do not want to take the time to grind this all out. But I'm first showcasing my full spreadsheet to show how we're going to get it all in a manner that it's, like, legitimately obtainable. I will be cheating to get it, but it's all stuff that you can legitimately get, and this spreadsheet is showcasing how. So that's what we're doing. So it might actually be a hot second before we start actually playing the video game. So that's how things are going right now. Oh yeah, one of the things I forgot to mention is another thing keeping me busy on the game schedule is yesterday the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Final DLC came out. So we're doing that as well. So I mean, I guess oh wait. And I'm getting myself mixed up here because this is not Birthright or Revelation, so I can't with Hizame. I just saw that there and assumed that, yeah, oops. Hizame isn't even in this route. But from Forest, we literally get nothing. So there's 0 point in A+ing with anybody. Shigure doesn't get any friends. Sucks to suck. Time to be a loner. So that's Shigure's role. Is the plan. I won't be here a long time at work break. Spreadsheet stream. Yeah, that's the plan. Well, I do hope the rest of the workday goes well. I do appreciate stopping in during your break. Legitimately somewhat a loose word without DLC or internet access available anymore. Yeah, that is fair. So, at one point, legitimately possible to do, at least. And that's what we're basing it off of. Alright, Jacob here. Jacob and Felicia are in interesting positions as maid and butler classes. Jacob is more physical based, what with 2 -2 for strength and magic and the growth rates respectively, whereas Felicia is -2 +2. So Jacob is the much more physical based one, but with the magic growth rate there, it's like, it's not good, but it's not awful either. You can definitely play into being a mixed here. There's also literally no one that he can A+ with here in this route that gives him anything. So Jacob is going to have no friends either. He's going to be a bit of a loner, so sucks to suck. My plan is pairing him up with Nyx, and we're going to turn... You could absolutely play into the more physical-based Dwyer here, and pursue the thing that he's already good at stronger. But I was like, how about we turn him into a mixed? I want a cool Grand Master unit. So, pairing up with Nyx here, And, oh, also, I forgot, should I have mentioned the skills being passed down? I already mentioned Foreign Princess, and then Leo. Oh yeah, I guess I already mentioned that. It doesn't really matter what he passes down. He's just passing down Astra there, because that's... Yeah, actually, it's a good thing to pass down, because, yeah, we can't get access to Samurai here. Okay, but as for Jacob here, he has access to Troubadour and Cavalier, which, you know, Dwyer does here as well. And there's nothing exclusive that he can pass down from A+, because Dark Mage you're gonna get access to here from the Mother anyway. So there's no point in... There's nothing exclusive to Jacob that you can pass down to Dwyer, so it's just like, oh, let's just pass down one of these higher level skills that's a little bit more annoying to get, even if Dwyer's not gonna be using it. You know? Let's go ahead and do that. So that's why Aegis is being passed down there. But yeah, it's been fun, been annoyed with poorly documented clips to hold on to car logos and badging. So in between ores, you've been test fitting and documenting what clips go in which badges. Well, it's good to be on top of that kind of thing and all organized and stuff. And as for Nyx, let's see here. The thingamabob that she wanted to pass down was going to be Soul, because she can get access to that through A+ing Charlotte the Fighter. So her A+ options are Mozu, Archer, Charlotte Fighter, or Effie Knight. And Effie Knight could be pretty nice in and of itself for Nyx getting access to Luna. But considering Dwyer already has access to that with his... I was going to say access, but I realize I'm repeating that word a whole lot. But yes, with his access to Cavalier, let's get an A+ support here that's going to get something that he doesn't have access to, Fighter/Mercenary, and pass down Soul. Though, I might potentially switch between Rally build or super skill-based build. I could absolutely take off a couple Rally skills and put on Soul. I could put on Luna, could put on Aegis, could even put on a friggin' Lethality if I wanted here. Or Vengeance, or whatever the heck. But yeah, Jacob I wanted to play into my physical, his more physical side there with making him a paladin and stacking on these skills. But Dwyer, Grandmaster gets access to Rally Spectrum, so I wanted to play into that. The other Rally skills that we have access to are Rally Resistance, which you get from Troubadour, and Rally Defense that we can get from Percy by A+ing with him. Because I don't think that there's any other A+ that I can even get here anyway. There's no Asugi, there's no Karagi, so I literally have to A+ with Percy anyway. So we get Rally Defense that way. So the other stats will be boosted with Rally Spectrum. It's unfortunate that I don't really have access to Rally Strength or anything here, or maybe Rally Speed. But Rally Spectrum and plus both defenses, with Replicate that we get access by supporting with Midori here to get access to... I think that's actually Apothecary, but we still get access to, I think that's a typo there. It being Ninja. Because, yeah, her primary class set is Apothecary. But still, we still get access to Replicate, even if that was a typo there. So we wouldn't actually have access to Lethality, I lied. And then, hey, here's the spicy Grandmaster skill just for the funsies there. Unfortunately, some badges we don't have right now, so you can't test fit them, but most you can. I'm going to get ready to head back to work. If still alive in 2.5 hours, may drop by again. Alright, I probably still will be. We might be reading here for the next 2.5 hours once we're through with the spreadsheet, so we'll see. But hope the rest of the workday goes well there, Mythic. There's a Glitch City remix of Pokemon Gold and Silver. I just wanted to double check because, like, this is familiar to me, but what is it? Like, you can see it here now. So that's my plan there. With Midori being my, my Master Ninja that is going to be paired up with, which is also going to give him extra movement and stuff, and then they both have access to Replicate, and it's pretty nice. I knew that I wanted to give Dwyer access to Replicate in some way or another. My Grandmaster with the Rally skills, I wanted to give access to Replicate, and that's how I'm going to do it. So that's the plan there. Alright, down to Kyle here. I already have other characters that can go into Master Ninja, so even though he'd probably be, like, most fitting in Master Ninja, I just don't have access to a Swordmaster otherwise, so he's going to be my Swordmaster. Well, I guess I could make my unit a Swordmaster, but what a waste, so I'm not doing that. So Kyle here is going to be paired up with Severa or Selena here, which is going to give him access to Mercenary. And as for A+, he only has access to Cavalier. He just has 2 options of Cavalier. It's kind of silly. So it actually doesn't really matter whether this is Silas or Xander. I just put down Xander here because Xander wants to A+ Kyle as well, so this just saves some time. Is what I figured. Not like it really matters at this point. So he has access to Replicate from Ninja, he has access to Vantage from Samurai, he has access to Soul from Selena's Mercenary, he has access to Luna from Xander's Cavalier, and he has access to Astra from Samurai as well, to just stack up a whole bunch of skills and be an ass-kicking Swordmaster here, is the plan. Trade to the Sheen Empire and his brother / my boy, he is, and he's here to absolutely wreck stuff, is the plan. And Midori, I want her to be the Master Ninja. She's going to be getting Luna from Kyle, since she doesn't have access to Cavalier here otherwise, so let's get that. And from the mother, Selena, I guess we'll go through all the builds of the mother units afterwards. Again, they don't matter too much. It's more so focusing on the child units. Selena's gonna be Kinshi Knight, so here's short version, because just to fill that role that not that many characters can fill. And she has access to Cavalier as well with A+, because that's a useful thing for her to go into. Her other options are Wyvern Knight, and she could get Trample if she wanted, but this is just the more useful thing to have than Trample, in my opinion. I mean, you could make an argument for it. Trample is just +5 damage against all non-mounted units. So that's basically like a weapon fair for all weapons except against unmounted units. So that could be handy there. You could make an argument for Trample and then pass that down, but I figured this was more useful for her. So let's just pass down 2 spicy skills then from the Cavalier line. Let's just pass down Aegis as well, because why not? Even if she doesn't end up using it, so. And honestly, those two could swap. Kyle could pass down Aegis and Selena could pass down Luna. It doesn't matter too much, but I just figured pass down some exclusive things there. Even though Kyle has access to Samurai, Midori does not. Meaning she would not have access to Astra or Vantage unless Kyle passed it down, or she got access to it through another A+. And we set the talent for our unit and Kana as Samurai, so she'll get access to it that way, especially considering she can't get Diviner. Dark Mage is her other option. There's not really a whole lot that I can see her using in Master Ninja from Dark Mage, so let's go ahead and get access to that, because Kyle did not want to pass that down, because she wanted to be Apothecary Ninja, not Ninja Samurai, like an absolute weirdo. She's Essing Dwyer, which gives her access to Troubadour. Not really going to use anything from that. It's more so just for the sake of those two pairing off with one another, not what they grant one another. Except, well, it's her granting him that, but him not granting her anything useful. And she's just going to be like the skill-stacked Master Ninja, where it's like, here's the Grandmaster with the rally skills, and then here's the Master Ninja with the crazy damage and skill proc and stuff. And she's going to have a whole lot of speed. Good luck ever doubling her. So, there's that. What am I listening to right now? This is a Tenno mix. Passing by, it's called. Alright, down to Silas. Silas is filling a role of Wyvern Lord, because I guess I didn't have enough people in that otherwise. Again, the class of the first generations didn't matter too much. I just wanted variety to have at least one of each class type. But I wanted to build his kiddo into a Dread Fighter, because I wanted to use daggers. There was a time that I was planning on turning her into a Master Ninja some way, somehow. I think that might have been in Revelations. I don't know if it's possible in Conquest here. Unless you did something really weird with pairing off with your unit as female Corn. Because the personal skills in this game, most of them really aren't good, honestly. I would say. You know, you look at the more recent Fire Emblem games, like 3 houses are engaged, and you actually have pretty good personal skills in a lot of cases. But back in the early days of personal skills here, a lot of them just really suck. But, I'm forgetting her name for a hot second. Sophie is an actual really good one. When a user triggers the battle and their attack connects with the enemy, enemy's defense -3. And Fates being Fire Emblem Fates. So why don't we play into that by further debuffing them with daggers, which is where I was like, okay, she's becoming the Dread Fighter and becoming the ultimate debuffing machine is my plan. So that's the way that I wanted to build her. So Silas can get access to Ninja here with A+ and Kaze. Oh, so I guess Kaze needs to become friends with both those Cavalier nerds anyway. This is a Xenoblade Chronicles thing where Bob's Tutorial Marsh. And with access to Ninja, he can pass down Replicate, so we can have 2 of the ultimate debuffer in my army, since, you know, she doesn't have access to Ninja here otherwise. Her only option is Fighter. That's the only thing that she can go for here. She literally gets nothing from Soliel, so I don't even know why the option is there. It's pretty stupid. I guess Soliel could probably get Cavalier from her, but yeah, it's still kind of silly. I don't like situations like this where you just get nothing. So yeah. Silas is just gonna be like, hey, here's Replicate, here's this that gets from Cavalier, here's this that gets from Mercenary, here's this that gets from Wyvern Rider, that from being paired off with Camilla as the mother, and then why not, just for the memes, the lethality from Kyle here, I guess, because reasons. And Sophie may as well slap on Aggressor from Dread Fighter to get a whole lot more damage when we initiate attack, which we're probably gonna want to do. Here's ways that we're gonna do more damage. If we get the kill, then hey, let's heal. And there can be 2 of us. And if the enemy doesn't die, well, they are now majorly debuffed. So, you know, sucks to suck. Her maximum stat modifiers play a bit more into her skill. She doesn't care about the sucky magic because she doesn't use it. Her strength is higher, so she's going to be hitting pretty hard and might actually be killing things a decent bit of the time. But what she doesn't they are marked for death. You know, the closest that we can get marking for death, apart from things like Draconic Hex here. So, that's a plan with that. As for Camilla here, the thing that she was going to pass down was going to be Life Taker, because she has access to Dark Mage. Mercenary, Sophie already has access to as her secondary thing, so there's no point passing down anything from that. She already has access to Cavalier, and Wyvern Rider is passed down. So I figured, let's just pass down what's the most useful thing from Dark Mage, something that Sophie can't have access to. And I was like, Life Taker's a pretty good one. So let's pass down Life Taker, and that's how she gets that, is the plan. Someone DMing me? Her S partner is going to be Shigure here. So Shigure is going to be the fly around and give support while granting these buffs to allies / debuffs to enemies, while also just helping our super crazy damage dealer get around. And she's going to be the one that you switch to for crazy damage / marking enemies for death. That is the plan with that setup there. Alright, and down to here, I guess we'll talk about these two real quick. Felicia is going to continue being a maid. May as well get Life Taker from her S support partner, Odin, with Dark Mage there. Luna, she gets from Parry, Cavalier, A+ support, because that's basically all she can get. I guess she gets Dark Mage from Flora, but that's no point when we're pairing up with Odin anyway, so in this setup, literally the only thing that we can get is Cavalier Parry here. So let's get that Luna and also pass it down to our kiddo of Ophelia there. Gets access to that through Mercenary, gets access to that through Dark Mage, I'm fairly certain gets access to that through Troubadour, so why not? Why not go ahead and do that? And then Mozu to fill the role of Master of Arms, because that's not a class I'm going to have otherwise. So she is going to be getting Luna from her good friend Effie over here. Her other option is just Nyx with Dark Mage, but I feel like Knight is the more useful thing since you get access to things like Luna. So let's get Luna, let's get Armored Blow from the same class set there to reduce our physical damage by, what is it, like 20 or something ridiculous when we initiate combat. Let's get extra movement from our S partner here, Niles, because we can't go wrong with extra movement. If we want to be defensive, hey, let's get Defense Taker. I just kind of slap these on some characters that seem like they'd be useful. Is the case, and then become even more defensive with Pavai. So we're going to be like my Hashiden tanky, physical tanky Dudo here, essentially, is the plan with Mozu. And let's pass down Pavai's here as something that wouldn't have, that, I guess, Nina wouldn't have access to, or Nina, whatever. I'm forgetting names for a hot second, wouldn't have access to, I don't know. I'll remember exactly what's going on there when we scroll over to there and see exactly what's going on there. Xander, I decided to make him my Vanguard. Let's play into him being my tankier 1 to 2 range sword guy with Siegbert. Which means that by being in Vanguard, he's going to get access to Aether, which is going to be really nice. He has access to Luna because of his Cavalier class. He's going to have access to the friggin' Soul here because of his S partner with Charlotte. He gets Strength Taker as part of being in Vanguard, and he can get access to Replicate with Kyle here. So there's 2 of him is the plan. He's S-ing with Charlotte, which is going to make Siegbert really physically strong. And he's going to be my dedicated S in Swords guy with Lodestar here. So, Siegbert is going to, I'll just give him Strength Taker as one of the, as my one use of the actual item to inherit there, which will play into him hitting really, really friggin' hard all the time. And Lodestar, I'm fairly certain, is a pretty fast class, and this kind of plays into that as well. So, he's going to be doubling with insane strength, and I just want to watch him clean up. It's gonna be awesome. What are the stats there like on the thingamabob again? I think that resistance would probably be higher, right? Where the heck is Lodestar? Oh, it's actually not. So our res will be a little bit sucky at 26 there, but whatever. I'm doing numbers. We're out here doing numbers as I do with Fire Emblem. So res might be a little bit sucky, but we're gonna go around wrecking a whole bunch of things. So Luna we get access to from Cavalier. Soul we get access to because Fighter we get from Charlotte anyway. The dual guard plus we just get from Lodestar, and then this being passed down from Xander here. His S partner is going to be Nina, so Nina's going to be more on the range with bows / support with the stabs, and you can switch to Siegbert for the crazy in-your-face physical sword damage and stuff, is the plan there. And A+ing with Ignatius here just to get access to the full set of Pavai's plus Aegis. If we ever want to play into that, just gives me some options. Because the only other options are Troubadour here, or Male Kana, and I don't have Male Kana. If I did have Male Kana, then he'd be able to get Samurai, but I'd have to be playing as Female Core, and I'm not this route, so he can't get anything there. So the only other option is Troubadour, and Knight just seems like the more useful thing. Down in the beta, but saying there's customizations You're gonna be about 3 hours late. Oh, the closed beta for Skull and Bones there. Yeah, I should probably start downloading it at some point here, because we might stream that later. Because apparently I got access to the Skull and Bones closed beta, so we'll see if that's a glitchy mess or if it's actually not half bad. I'll probably stream that later. I think it opens at like 7 p.m. local time. That's the case, but I'll download that later. So, that was the plan there. Gets Outlaw from Nina, though that doesn't really matter all that much. And that's the plan there. Charlotte, she is going to be passing down Life Taker just because here's something exclusive there of Dark Mage, and that's a potentially useful thing that I can use for a little while, but ultimately might not use it at the end of the day. Let's see here. Next up is Leo. He's going to be chilling Dark Knight. He's going to be getting Astra from his A+ with Odin for Samurai here. Get Tomebreaker from Dark Mage or Troubadour. I think it's Troubadour, actually. Life Taker from Dark Mage. Let's give him Speed Taker because he's a little bit in the slower department. And then he can get Vantage from the same thingamabob here. He doesn't really care all that much about Sky Knight there. And as for his kiddo, which is therefore going to be Azura's other kiddo. So Azura's going to have 2 kids of Shigure and Forest, and I decided that one of them was going to be a Falcon Knight for lances and staves, and the other was going to be a Dark Falcon for lances and tomes. So that's the setup there. I'll be able to shoot with you tonight. You have to work early in the morning. That's okay. I just kind of want to see a little smidge of what the game is about there. But if you get the chance to try it out as well, and I'm able to use one of those invitations to give someone a chance that they'll enjoy, then that is good. That's a-okay with me. Leo's going to be passing down Astra from Samurai here because that's pretty useful there. And Dark Falcon Forced, he's going to be more magical than Shigure is because of his default magical growth rate there, which is why I figured it makes more sense to have Forced in Dark Falcon and Shigure in Falcon Knight. Just because at the end of the day, they'll have the same maximum stats, so I could always switcheroo the 2 of them. But I also have it planned out with their support partners to have Forced and Dark Falcon here, so I figured that was fitting. Let's use Magic Taker on him, the 1 skill inheritance thingamabob, just to keep on hitting harder and harder with my crazy Dark Falcon Tome Flyer here. Astra is pretty spicy there. We're going to get Luna from being best friendos with Ignatius over here. We'll get Bowbreaker from, I think, I don't know, it's something here. Where's Bowbreaker come from again? But yeah, got about to do some Christmas shopping. Buys everyone chat and be nice and enjoy the rest of the stream. We're not gonna be nice. There's gonna be riots immediately. Yeah, it's that for Bowbreaker. What am I listening to right now? This is Sonic Frontiers music, Chronos Island's 7th movement. It would sound kind of familiar, but never played that game. And Life Taker, because you can't go wrong with that. So get a kill, get a whole bunch of health, and get some more magic boosted and stuff. So that's the plan there. And then support him with Ophelia. That doesn't actually give him anything, but but he already has access to good skills anyway. And we already have delete that last sentence from your mind. I started stumbling on my words. This doesn't matter anyway, because we have good skills anyway, and then this was more so to play into the stat boost that we all get. I don't know what I started saying otherwise for a hot second there, but that's the handy part about doing things like my engaged spreadsheet video, is that you could edit out stuff like that I can't really do here. So, sucks to suck. We already talked about Laszlo and Soleil here. Odin gonna be paired up with Felicia, which gives access to Troubadour. His class sets are Dark Mage and Samurai. All the Awakening characters have like a Hashiden secondary class set, interestingly enough. So I was like, okay, let's turn him into a mixed. I was thinking about making him a Grandmaster, and I might do that in Revelations where I decide, hey, let's have 2 of each of the DLC class sets. 1 for the first generations or 1 for the second generations. But I put the limit on myself of 1 spicy class set per playthrough, and Grandmaster's already gone to Dwyer. So Dark Knight here, he can be mixed that way, which will give him access to being able to get extra damage with Sword Fear here because of Samurai. He also gets Astra and Vantage because of that. So literally 3 skills from that. Let's give him Soul from Laszlo's Mercenary here, and then Life Taker from Dark Mage that he already has. He's not going to be using anything from Troubadour. And then he's going to be a kind of spicy mix here. His strength growth rate is 5% better than his magic growth rate, and maybe he'll be a not half bad mixed. His A+ options were that, and it's like, yeah, this doesn't matter when we already have Felicia. There's not too much I'm gonna write home about there, but we can get Soul that way, and then here's some better safety stuff with health to keep him going. And his daughter, on the other hand, is gonna be our spicy witch out here. that is going to be going around wrecking enemies with that extra crit rate that comes with Witch and these skills that we have here. I've decided that she was going to be my one to inherit the Aether just skill inheritance item. And she's going to get a Samurai from that. She's going to get Soul passed down from her dear old dad here. She's going to get Replicate from her best friend Midori over here, because that doesn't really matter when we're already passing down Soul. And then we can either get Luna. Is that passed down, I guess? From, yeah, I think that was passed down from Felicia. Let's see here. Yeah, because Felicia's friendship with Perry is going to allow her to pass down Luna. So that means that we can give Ophelia Luna, or we can just do Vantage if we want to be able to face tank a whole bunch of things while wrecking stuff. You know, you come and attack semi-frail Ophelia here, but she just attacks first and wrecks you with one of these things. I think this is Detective Pikachu Returns music that we're listening to right now. So that's the plan with her, and her S support being forced. So, you know, I would prefer them having some different weapon types rather than both relying primarily on tomes. You know, we have physical this way, but it does still boost one another's stats in effective ways while giving her access to a flyer here. Plus, I guess I don't have Warp listed here, but Warp is another potential skill option. I guess I'm not showing this all that much, but yeah, with her parents and stuff, this is what her pair-up stats are going to look like. Like, here's boosted magic and stuff. And those thingamabobs there. Yeah, I guess I haven't shown all that much of this, but, you know, just trust. I guess we can go over the pair-ups a smidge more later and how those work dynamically. We can talk about that at the end. Niles, I figured, hey, I don't really see how Ballistician fits in all that well into the child units. So let's just give it to Niles, and then he's the unit that I might still be bringing with me from time to time anyway, because of wanting to capture unique foes. Which, speaking of, I realized that I missed a unique boss in that map with Azura and the Groans of Increasing Discomfort. Apparently the boss there was a unique capturable enemy, so yeah, I might just slap him into my army here with this, because it's literally impossible to get him in that save file otherwise, unless I start from the beginning, and screw that. I'll acknowledge that I screwed up, but yeah. Oops. Anyway, so he can get the Spicy class just because he's the one character in our whole army that can capture foes anyway, so there's some incentive to potentially bring him along sometimes. He can get access to Bow Fair through his S support partner Mozu because she shares Archer, not Villager, but the class set that she passes down to children is Villager. That's how that works. So here's some more damage with bows. Here's some life-sealing stuff with Dark Mage, and then these Ballistician skills that are pretty good with the range and being able to move better and stuff like that. His most valuable 8+ support partner is Arthur, considering it's the only one that he can literally get anything. It's so dumb. So there's no reason not to support with Arthur, unless you really just want to sandbag yourself for some reason, even if he doesn't end up using that. And Nina is going to be my Adventure. I think Adventure is honestly like one of my favorite classes in this game at all. It's really cool. But wouldn't it be funny if we tried to capture every unit we could with Niles in a run? I mean, the prison only has so much capacity, and then your army only has so much capacity, so unfortunately you can't just catch infinite enemies, or, you know, a nigh infinite amount of enemies. There's a hard cap, sadly. It's sad days. So, Nina here will have access to Bow Fair if she wants it. Like, this can be passed down, but I figured she would be the one that would be best for inheriting the Point Blank tome, and she can be my 1 to 2 range physical unit that is hopefully not going to take too much damage. She's going to have boosted skill here. Good luck doubling her with Adventure plus a +5 MSM in speed here. I guess I haven't talked about how the MSMs always go together and the growth rates, but I guess you can kind of see that and make your own inferences and stuff. Her mother, Mozu here. That's why I was passing down Papeyes from Effie. That's why I was doing it. So, access to Papeyes that way. She's gonna be S-ing with Siegbert first and foremost. So Siegbert is going to be the right in your face physical unit with Lodestar and his swords, whereas Nina's gonna be the from range physical attacks with bow, plus being able to support with stabs and stuff that Adventurer can do. So she can attack from 1 to 2 range. Here's Luna for some more damage. Here's Soul for healing some damage. And then here's Papeyes and Aegis for taking some less damage. So she gets that from her item. She gets this from her S support partner. She gets this from her 8+ support partner. She gets this from her mother, and she gets this from her S support partner as well to just be a tankier archer unit here that is my dedicated 1 to 2 range physical hard-hitting unit. Apart from Sophia, I guess, with daggers and stuff. That kind of fits into that niche as well. But we will have access to Bowfair if we want it as an adventure here. And we can use it for a little while we work up to this stuff. I definitely won't mind the extra damage in the meantime. But yeah, hence why you said, well, you could, because in theory we could build an army of machine traders. Traders like Kamikaze. Every unit we could. That would be pretty funny. Would be pretty good there. But yeah, these are her class sets. We'll run aptitude for a little while, unless that's a personal skill. Yeah, I think it was in later games where it was like a class skill. Or am I going crazy? No, Mozu does have a different skill. It is in Villager, so Nina can run aptitude for a little while and get some better growths and stuff. So that's the plan there. Arthur, here's a weird one. So you look at Percy here, and here's a 30% growth rate in strength, a 5% growth rate in magic. It's really sucky. But I patched it up. I became a weirdo by pairing Arthur with Elise, taking one of my very magical units and pairing them up with a very physical unit, which is, you know, a very unhinged thing to do here, but I did anyway, because Malignite is actually a really cool class. Axes and Tomes, that is pretty cool. And Percy by default is in Wyvern Rider, and why canonically would promote into Wyvern Lord. He's meant to be more physical. But magical's so much cooler, and then you can attack at 1 to 2 range a whole lot easier while being able to proc stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna be a weirdo, I'm gonna make Percy a Malignite. How do I do that? So, Arthur and Elise, that I'm fairly certain we already have paired off in the thingamabob. So Arthur has access to Fighter and Cavalier as his 2 classes. Fighter is passed down, Percy does not have access to Cavalier, because he gets Wyvern Rider instead. So, here's a spicy thing of Cavalier that he wouldn't be able to get otherwise, passed down of Aegis, and he's just gonna be tankier. He's gonna be my very safe skill procking Dudo, especially considering Kana is gonna have access to those skills through Nor. So you look at my setup, and it's like, I'll have access to Dragon Vein, and a whole bunch of attacking skills, with Astra, Aether, Luna, and Soul. Whereas Percy here, on the other hand, with Kana, is just, here's a lot more safety and a lot less damage. We're gonna get access to Dragon Fang, and some other damaging things like Astra, Luna, Soul, and then here's both of the defensive ones. Unfortunately, I don't have Replicate here, so we are gonna have like 2 Kanas and only 1 Percy. But, you know, that 1 Kana can go like semi-mop up some other area, while, you know, my main Kana is just one of the ultimate tanks that there is. With the ability to switch to Percy here, while still being pretty tanky if we need to fly across the map or do whatever the heck we want. Again, Percy was the one unit that I lost in, like, the second last chapter of my Conquest Lunatic Classic playthrough back when, and I just played on in a separate save file to eventually beat Lunatic Classic, because I could not beat that one chapter for the life of me without losing someone, and I lost Percy, and it was sad days. Now, I don't think I'm losing Percy. I don't think it's happening this time. But yeah, by pairing up with Elise there, that is going to, you know, very much patch this up. There's going to be really sucky strength, so he might not be as good at axes, but that isn't god-awful of a growth rate, at least, and I'm fairly certain that Malignite probably patches it up here. Let's see here, Malignite. Yeah, there's 15 in each. Nice. So, he's not going to mind too much. It'll work out. It'll be okay. And then Elise was passing down, she was passing down Pavi's, even though, you know, we can get that from Knight here anyway. We can't get anything from Kana. Troubadour, I don't think that there's anything all that useful there. And we needed the Knight for Luna anyway. So let's see here. The Troubadour is, yeah, that. If it was Bowbreaker, I might have some second thoughts. Though maybe not in the case of, here's just a unit to be fodder for skills for Kana, but meh. But yeah, I was just watching your good Metroid Prime video, Harmonia. Heard that the game's tutorial is too action-packed to be a proper introduction to the game, but I find that to be a very slight flaw in an otherwise amazing game. Oh, I thought the intro of that game was amazing. There were, in that one video I talked about how it perfectly sets up what you can expect for the whole rest of the game. Like, it is true that it's not too tutorial-like and learning the game itself, but in terms of introducing what this world is and what you're dealing with, I think it's one of my favorite game intros, in my opinion, especially after analyzing it for that video. So I'm glad that you enjoyed the video there. Yeah, so we're getting this here anyway. And yeah, so passing that down. But is there anything else that Elise can pass down then? So let's see here. Troubadour, Wyvern Rider. Oh, and you have access to Troubadour, so this is literally the only way that you can get anything anyway. Samurai through Kana, which gives you access to that. Hold on a hot second here. Wyvern Rider that you already have access to. There's Fighter, and yeah, so Fighter, Knight, Troubadour, Wyvern Rider. Troubadour, Fighter, Knight, Wyvern Rider. So there really isn't anything all that crazy that she can pass down, so just pass down the other of the set here is what the thought process there was. But yeah, the music track exclusive to the Parasite Queen is memorable on its own. It is a pretty good theme there. Afraid you need to did now. I assume that means dip. Enjoy your stream. Okie doke. Have a good rest of the day there, Reggie Bump, and take care. Also, I gave Arthur Luck Taker because he's Arthur. So, you know, there's that. Alright, now down to Benny. His A+ sucks to suck. Because from both of them, he'd get Fighter, and he already has access to Fighter. So he literally cannot A+ with anyone. So Benny's just doomed to not have any friends. Sucks to suck. Though he can have a wifey. So he's going to be S-ing with Perry here. That is going to give access to Cavalier. So he gets access to both Pavise and Aegis. Let's get Wary Fighter so that he's not going to be doubling foes anyway. And now foes can't double him. Then here's Luna and Soul that he gets from Fighter. And Knight/Cavalier doesn't really matter there. And with Ignatius here, I guess I can just write down Fighter, even though he already has access to it. Doesn't friggin' matter. He's going to be pairing up with Valoria. He's going to be my super face tanky general that might not be doing as much damage back, but is just going to serve to be a wall, essentially. He's going to be getting Aegis from his dear old dad here, just because it's a higher level skill that's a little bit harder to get, even though he already has access to it, just because there's literally nothing exclusive that Benny can pass down anyway. And his mother, Perry, is going to be giving him Life Taker because he doesn't have access to Dark Mage, and there's something spicy and unique, I guess. Does he already have access to Soul some other way? Then yeah, because he already has access to Fighter there. So yeah, there's Life Taker that I'll use for a little while. His defense in general is going to be awesome, but resistance not so much. So here's Resistance Taker to make him more and more safe. And by being paired up with Perry, this does help patch that up a little bit. It takes away some of his defenses, but it stacks up his res for his res MSM to be even higher. Though, again, with generals, it's like, your res isn't actually as sucky as I thought it would be at face value. A decent few points lower. So, 40 and 30. So, it become 42 and 34. That's not half bad there. And then potentially 44 after you kill 5 enemies, but with Resistance Taker here. So, you know, he's just gonna be my wall. Here's taking less damage. Here's a way to heal. Here's taking less damage with magic. And here's the foes aren't gonna be doubling him. So, that's the setup with that. His A+ is going to be Percy as the most useful thing, because this doesn't matter here. I don't think there's anything from Troubadour that he really wants. He could use Trample or something, is the idea, even though I don't have it in the setup, but, you know, just in case I want to be spicy and mix things up. As for Keaton here and Valoria, I decided to just put them into Wolfsigner, just as their exclusive thingamabob, so here's Beastbane so that they can do more damage to riding foes, Cavalier foes, and stuff. Keaton is going to be S-ing with Effie here, which is going to result in a whopping 7 MSM in strength from Valoria for her to hit like a friggin' truck. Back from Pokemon Draft Match, see we're still in Spreadsheet Emblem. Yeah, we're getting there. We're on the final child unit now. Welcome back, Gangster Samurott. Access to Wolfskin and Fighter. Going to get access to Knight that way. I'm so sorry for these nose issues I'm having. And then again, a Friendship Laszlo for Mercenary here, just because we already get Knight, so it's the only thing that we can even use here anyway. So, there's some extra damage against riding foes. Here's Luna from Effie. Here's Soul from himself, or Laszlo, I guess. Here's the thing that I think is just healing us on odd number turns, or whatever the heck that is. I don't remember. And then Armored Blow from the Thingamabob, just because there's not as many other good skills that I can see myself slapping on here. So, there's that. Choked got bailed out by hacks in the last few turns. Well, Lacey got on through. And then, Valoria here, she's gonna be getting Soul from her dear old dad, just because, here, I guess I forgot to put this here, Knight that she gets from her mother. She already has access to this kind of stuff anyway. Does she have access to Mercenary? She already has access to Soul, so why am I passing down Soul? I should pass down something exclusive from Mercenary, even if I don't use it, just because it's my only chance to get stuff there. And with Effie, she is getting Tomebreaker, it looks like, from Troubadour. that she wouldn't have access to otherwise. I don't think there's anything from Archer that I want. So, yeah, just Tomebreaker, because her resistance is gonna be a bit more sucky in Wolfsigner. Troubadour is, yeah, that, whereas Archer, I could get Certain Blow, I could heal some of my adjacent allies and stuff, I guess, or Air Superiority. Doesn't really matter all that much. If we look at Wolfsigner, over here, yeah, right there, the res is a little bit suckier, so let's just slap on Tomebreaker and not have to worry about it quite as much. So that's the handy thing to pass down from a class that she wouldn't have access to. And yeah, Knight Wolfskin Fighter, so the only thing exclusive here is Mercenary. So what's something that Keaton can give from Mercenary that Fighter does not have access to? Let's just choose something, even if I never use it. Let's see here. So Mercenary, as opposed to Fighter, so it goes into Hero there. So something from either Mercenary there, or Bow Knight. I don't think I'm gonna want Rally Skill. I think that's like +3 damage when we initiate combat. Or I could go with the Dagger Breaker to not get debuffed and stuff. Let me get reminded about the other thingamabob. So let's see here. Attainable skills. What is the Mercenary thing again there? It was Strong Riposte. Oh, it's when enemy triggers battle. Damage +3. I mean, maybe. Maybe I'll just put on Shuriken Breaker. Strong Riposte, it's a good skill. Yeah, it's definitely not half bad there. If I want extra damage on enemy phase. Sure, let's go with that then. Don't know why I had Soul on there when she already has access to Soul with that. It's pretty friggin' stupid. It's a good thing I caught that. There, now you're passing down something fun. Cool. I might use it for a little while, but at the end of the day, my build might look like this. Valori can A+ Kana as a best friendo there and get access to Samurai that way. Already has access to Luna through Knight and stuff. And I guess already has access to Knight with her S support partner here anyway, so this is a little bit of a waste, but still good to be pairing up with for stat-wise and stuff. Sometimes not all the images load. Also, because of how many images there are, earlier versions of this spreadsheet also had the character arts along here, like I do on my Engage sheet. It keeps on unloading others, but eventually I deleted them after they kept on not loading all that well. Maybe I'll put them back in again one day. So yeah, her final build looking like do some more damage against mounted units. Here's Astra from Samurai, and here's Vantage from Samurai as well for some extra safety. And then Luna from Fighter, and then Soul from Fighter, Luna from Knight, I guess. Better than Luna, but less funny, depending on how you use it. If you want to be more enemy phase focused, as opposed to more player phase focused. If you want to be more player phase focused, then Luna's a much better skill. Is the case. And it can also depend on what kind of foes we're facing if, you know, this doesn't come into play. Alright, just quickly over the parent units here that I'm not even going to be using all that much. Camilla, Malignite, these are her skills. Anyway, it's not worth going over all that much. I mainly wanted to focus on the child unit, so can look over this and look at the class sets they have access to and figure out how they're getting what they're getting here, essentially. Yeah, actually, I'll go through them really quickly. Camilla, Malignite, so she wields axes and tomes. Gets Life Taker from Dark Mage. Gets Luna from Silas's Cavalier that she's pairing up with. Gets Soul from her best friend. She gets Trample from her main thing, and she gets Armored Blow from also her support partner there. Elise is going to be the strategist, so tomes and stabs. Here's some Trample for some more damage that she's going to get from that. Here's Luna that she's going to get from her best friend. Pavise just to reduce her physical damage that she also gets from her best friend. Live to Serve from Troubadour just to heal herself a little bit more, and then Tomebreaker to also be a little bit of a mage killer if she wants to be. Just because of how insane her res is already in that class, so you can shove her into the face of a bunch of magic units and not really have to care about things. Perry, she's set as the Great Knight here, that is going to be pretty tanky, can restore her health on getting a kill, what with Dark Mage there, and also plays into her personal skill where she gets buffed for the next enemy phase whenever she gets a kill. Or just the next turn in general, I guess. I guess if you get to kill an enemy phase, then she'll be stronger in the next player phase. I think it's how it works. I don't know. I haven't used Perry a whole lot. There's Luna that she's getting from, I guess, herself. There's Soul that she's getting from her best friend. And then Pavise and Aegis that she's getting from these here. Baruka is set to be my Bow Knight. Here's a little bit extra crit with Gamble that comes from Fighter. Here's being able to take some health from you that comes from Camilla's Dark Mage from her best friend there. She already has access to that with one of her classes. She already has access to this with one of her classes, and same with Savage Blow here. That's the plan. Selena is going to fill the role of Kinchi Knight because I don't have anyone filling that role otherwise. She gets access to replicate through her husbando here, Kyle. So there can be 2 Kinchi Knights going around and bullying a whole bunch of dudos. Access to that through her best friend, Soul through her main thingamabob, Darting Blow from Sky Knight for some extra speed to ensure that we're doubling, and hey, here's just a little bit of extra safety that we're getting from our best friend as well to them pesky ranged weapons. Effie is our dedicated sniper that she gets from being a best friend with Mozu here that'll pass her the archer class. So she's going to be using Bowfair for that extra damage, Luna for some extra damage from her main class, Soul that she's going to get from her husbando here, the wolf, that from Knight as well for a little bit of extra safety, and then just in case from those pesky tomes, we can be dealing with the mages a little bit easier this way. Not going to be as risky. Nyx is going to be fitting into our role of Sorcerer, where she's going to be getting that from her main class, she's going to be getting that from her best friend, and here's a whole bunch of breaker things, because I wasn't really sure what to do. So, this from a fairly certain Dark Mage, this from Troubadour, Husbando, and this from Fighter there, just to deal with all these ranged weapons super well. So slap her in, coach, and she'll deal with all the ranged annoying dudos, but be weak at close range, I guess. And finally, Charlotte the Berserker here. She's going to be using Axe Fair just for extra damage. Going to be using that from her husbando. She's going to be using that from the class that she comes from. Going to be using that from her best friend. And this from the backup there because she's going to be really weak against magical things in Berserker, and this is going to make her a little bit more safe. And as for these characters, I didn't really bother because they weren't as important, and I figure they can fill whatever niche I want them to fill that they have access to. That's that. Okay, we're almost done here. I guess just talking about the pair-ups. Do I have a list of just the pair-ups and stuff? This is where I was working some stuff out. Did my music stop, by the way? Thanks, YouTube. Let's do this Sticker Brush Symphony next. This is what we'll do. Alright, briefly discussing them and the pair-up stats and how that's going to work. Just for the kiddo units. I guess the other characters that I will be using, I can briefly mention. My unit, along with Soleil, is gonna be sharing some magic that she can't really use, but also sharing a decent bit of skill, speed that she can use. Won't mind the defense and res, and that helps patch that up a little bit more. And she can definitely use the strength. I'm fairly certain she's going to be passing me some skill that is going to play into me proccing my shit a little bit more. Yeah, there's that, there's this, and I didn't pass on the stuff of Great Lord. I didn't write that down here. Oops, wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong guy. I was looking at Laszlo. I didn't put down the stuff for Great Lord. Speed and luck. Oh, no skill. Oh well. But I still get at least an extra skill from her being her, and some extra strength and stuff, which I can't go wrong with that at least. I won't mind the extra speed to make sure that I'm doubling things and getting some more damage that way. As for Kana here, let's see. Kana is going to be sharing some magic, as well as some strength, speed, and defense. Is what's going to be happening there. And her parrot partner is going to be able to use both that strength and magic, because Malignite. So that won't be going to waste there. While he's going to be sharing strength and magic, a whole lot of magic actually, considering the class and these things that he got from his mother. So that is going to make Kana a lot more magical. Again, Kana's magical growth rate kind of sucks, so this is a more later game kind of thing. But this, we do want to make Kana the ultimate unit where we can, and this is going to help play into that when you want to be using magic more often than physical in Nor Noble. If you want to be able to shove your face into enemies and forget about it, and not have to worry about how much range they have. Here's making Kana even more defensive and an extra movement that we can't go wrong with either. I guess I can always slap move there like that, but that's what the last thing is just movement. Use an extra tile movement that Kana is going to like. So I think this is easily going to be my most busted pairing in my army is Kana plus Percy, and I can't wait to see it play out. I might only have stuff like this towards the end of the playthrough, but still, I should be in a pretty good position here. So yeah, there's that, and then across that pairing we have access to swords, tomes, stones, and axes. And then being able to fly and stuff. Azura with Leo here, if I have enough army space for Leo to come along, then Leo can be the much more defensive one to switch to, / getting some more damage here. While hopefully being able to patch up his speed enough that he doubles, we'll see here. We shall see about that. The pair-up stats there aren't as important since it was more about the kids that we made. But here's more skill, speed, and luck that is being shared among those two. And here, magic that Azura is really not going to be using. Speed, luck, res, and whatever Dark Knight gives, probably strength and magic and stuff. Yeah, I guess my sheet wasn't completely complete, but whatever. As for Shigure here, along with Sophie, he's in Falcon Knight, and I think that Falcon Knight doesn't even... Okay, Falcon Knight does boost a little bit of magic that Sophie won't be using, but oh well. Can't have the most optimal pairings with them all, unfortunately. Can't have magic units with all magic units, or mixed here. Like, Sophie can use the strength, but I don't have enough other mixed units to have someone that can use both of those. And she can definitely use the skills, she definitely won't mind the speed. And yeah, I guess an extra boost in magic there. Oh well. Oh well, but won't mind the other things for sure. And then with Sophie here, what she's giving in return is just, here's some more strength that is going to play into the one weapon that he uses. Well, I guess unless he uses like a bolt Naginata or something, but won't mind that. And then here's being more even res tanky, I guess. But across these two, the total weapons that they are going to have access to are going to be swords, lances, axes, and daggers. Is the case. Because yeah, Dreadfighter is swords, axes, and daggers. At first, I was getting mixed up with Awakening. Like, wait, wasn't it something different before? Awakening was just tomes instead of daggers. Where Dreadfighter used to be mixed in that game, but it's not mixed in this game. It's daggers instead. So they're gonna have full weapon triangle control, plus daggers, and then plus stabs for support. So they are going to have a lot of versatility in that pair up, and it's gonna be pretty nice. And welcome back, Anima. Something happened? Nothing bad, I hope? Is everything okay? As for Dwyer here, along with Midori, the Master Ninja, in Grandmaster, Dwyer is going to be, well, given something. Gosh dang it, man. Let's see here. Classes. Pair up stats. Gosh dang it. Grandmaster is, yeah, those things there. Get out of here, ads. This is what it is. Like that. And... yeah, I guess Midori's not really going to be using the magic, but again, can't really win them all. Can't have them all be the most optimal, but she'll definitely love using the skill. Use the defense and res and the other thing Rabob's here and won't mind the strength. And for Midori, the Master Ninja, what she's going to be granting him... oh, I put that in Midori, not, oops. Put that in the wrong character there. I don't have the pair up stats for Master Ninja either. Gosh dang it, man. Here, it's this. On skill. Which can be pretty nice there, right? Here's some more skills on our Grandmaster if we decide to play into the more skill-based thingamabob. And the extra movement is going to be pretty nice as well for the rally build, being able to get around and rally how we want. Father-in-law... shower had a leak and started pouring out from the bottom wall. Oh, so a major leak issue there. Hopefully it's able to get sorted out in due time there. 99 skill stat Kana when? So someone had a collection of 99 stat Kanas, which is funny. Unfortunately, that's impossible to do without cheating there. I'm using cheats, but cheats that just negate grinding time that is possible to get otherwise, and this is how. But yeah, so that's how that pair up is going to work there. Guess we're done with the stuff here. Xander and Charlotte. Charlotte's going to be boosting his strength, I imagine. He's probably going to be boosting some stuff there, like strength and defense with Vanguard as well. With Lodestar here, that's just going to be boosting. I'm fairly certain it was those, I think. Double check. Maybe I'm getting mixed up with Great Lord. Lodestar. Okay, well, it's a good thing I checked. Siegbert is going to be sharing that. It seems like, with his parrot partner of Nina, and she won't mind the strength. Won't mind though, but the strength will be especially handy there. Yeah, well, it is with in-battle boost like parrot bonuses and skill taker, so it is possible to get some stat to 99 then? Is that a thing? I know that there's a setup that you can do where it's like 100% miracle proc on Midori, but you have to do like so many parrots specifically built towards getting her everything that she needs. And then inheriting like skills from other files, I think, as well. So yeah, that's how that's going to work. And then Nina is going to be boosting speed, res, and movement. Cool. Neat, man. Oh, and along with the stuff here, some skills, speed, luck, and res as well. That has to be mentioned too. Force is going to be paired up with Ophelia. And, oh yeah, and their total weapons that have access to there is going to be sword, bow, and staff. And I guess I didn't mention some of these other ones where it's like, come on. Let's see here. I mentioned that one. They're going to have access to swords, tomes, and daggers. Then total. I don't know who's pinging me on Discord. I'll find out later. And yeah, this group is just going to have access to tomes and lances while having some extra movement. And boosting one another's magic a whole bunch. Dark Falcon does not boost any strength. And there's no strength here from his personal setup stuff. I don't know what the heck this box is. So Ophelia is definitely not going to mind that, along with extra movement, being able to get around. And Ophelia, in return, is going to give him access to these parrot bonuses and probably a butt ton of magic and skill that I imagine that Witch probably gives that I guess I didn't put in there. Yeah, exactly as I thought. No. Is that? Oh, magic and speed. It looks like that is, right? Yeah, magic speed. Which you can't go wrong with there. Definitely things that the two of them won't mind granting to one another here. Celia, we already talked about there. Percy, we already talked about there. And then just these two, of Ignatius and Valoria. Where Ignatius, in general... my sheet was not quite done. In general, is going to be granting strength and defense that Valoria certainly won't mind. Right there. Which he also grants with some of his personal thingamabobs here. Along with some extra speed. And Valoria, here's more strength and speed. The speed, I guess, doesn't really matter. That might go to waste, but here's a shit ton of strength. And some extra defense as well. So, yeah. Okay, I think I'm done. That's the spreadsheet. Oh, man. Maybe I'll do something like this for Revelations when we eventually get there, because I can't imagine doing the full thing, like, with completely legitimate grinding, because, dear God. So, yeah. There's that. Are we ready to start the thingamabob here? Oh, that's my printer. And some wacky prints that I was looking at. I thought that this was right under the thingamabob. And we're probably gonna be here with Reading Simulator for a while, so maybe we should just chill with the DVD stream playlist. Yeah, let's do that and say this is where the part ends where we're going over the spreadsheet. That's maybe what we'll do. Switch back to this. And the part begins of starting to actually get those supports and work towards the things.